Welcome back, everyone. Today we're gonna have a look at a couple of cards that were spoiled in War of the Spark. And the first one, Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. 4 colorless, a blue and a black. And all these Planeswalkers, by the way, have a static ability. It is just like an artifact or an enchantment. It's an ability that's in effect all the time, no matter how many loyalty abilities you have or anything. And this one has creatures and planeswalker spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. So the creatures and planeswalkers cost 1 mana less to cast, 1 colorless, that is, 1 colorless mana less to cast for each artifact. So it doesn't reduce if you have a colored cost, but for instance, this goes very well, of course, with Karn, which you could probably play for free if you have a couple of artifacts out. So let's say you have, it's turn 6. You have a treasure map out and you've flipped it, and maybe you have, a Fountain of Renewal or something. You play Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge, and then immediately you can play Karn because he has affinity for artifacts. So you can play it for free immediately. So you can just slam 2 planeswalkers very quickly. So if there's a lot of cheap planeswalkers, you could, alpha strike your opponent with planeswalkers, which is pretty sweet. So I think what makes this, I've looked through this Planeswalker a little bit. I think what makes him the strongest is the top ability. An alpha strike thing that you can do with that. Also, you can make creatures cheaper. Probably creatures which contain a lot of colorless symbols. I don't know exactly what creature that would be. Probably the best one would be Hybrid Crassus, would be my guess. If you have a couple of artifacts out and treasure map or something, and then you could cast a snake for a lot. That's decent. Let's read the other abilities. By the way, he comes into play with 5 loyalty and immediately +2 to 7, so it's like impossible to kill with damage. So you don't really need to defend this guy, I don't think. Like, you could just plus him and he's like, he's so strong anyways, your opponent's probably not gonna kill him, and you can probably play him and something else, the alpha strike thing that I talked about. +2, Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge, deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of artifacts you control, and you gain life. You gain X life. That's decent. It's not super exciting, but it's a, a finisher. It's a way of killing your opponent with this guy. You just constantly plus. The second one is not so good in my opinion. -3, return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. The problem is, there's not many artifacts that are ever gonna go to the graveyard. And I mean, sure, if your opponent kills something, or if you play artifact creatures, which there are almost no good artifact creatures, unfortunately. But then, sure, you could return it. So the -3 is a little bit lackluster. The -8, though, is pretty good. Exile the top 10 cards of your library, put all artifacts from among them onto the battlefield. So that's quite a lot of cards, and if you have a lot of artifacts, you're probably gonna hit 2 or 3 things. With that. So my guess for how you should use this is that you use it for the affinity to alpha strike a lot of things in the same turn, and then you just do +2 because you don't need to protect this guy really. He's good enough with his static ability and just +2ing, gaining some value again and again. I think that's how you use him. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next card here. The next card, Vraska's Finisher. When Vraska's Finisher enters the battlefield, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. And this is a thing I thought would become a keyword, like planeswalker death touch or something. But it chose to tone it down, probably because it's a common card. I don't think this card will be played. It doesn't seem especially good in any way. I mean, it would just be better to give your creature death touch. Give this flash and this ability or something. It just seems weird and slow. Some kind of token strategy, maybe, because you can kill many planeswalkers. Or you can only kill 1. Destroy target, okay. This seems like a very bad card. It has decent stats for what it's worth. It's a 3/2. But other than that, probably not gonna see any play outside of Limited. I don't think it's gonna see any play outside of Limited. Next card though, Vraska, Storm's Eminence. And this is interesting because here we see the first uncommon planeswalker that we've ever seen. 2 colorless, green or black, and then green or black again. Whenever a creature you control with death touch deals damage to a player or a planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Deals damage to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter. there's not too many good Death Touch creatures. The only one which I know of is the Afterlife creature, which is decent, which has Death Touch. There's also a 3/3 for 3, a legendary creature. Damage to a player or a planeswalker. That's not super strong, honestly. It's on the weaker side of things. Then it has -2, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. The interesting thing about this is that it's -2, but it has 5 loyalty, so it will go down to 1 loyalty, and then you will never be able to use anything on it. It's a weird design. It's weird that it's not like 3 loyalty and then -1 create a 1/1. I don't know why. The assassin token is strong though. Whenever it deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. So this is what I thought would be printed on more cards. We'll see. There will probably be such cards. And for what it's worth, you also put a +1 counter on it. So it's pretty good synergy with itself, right? So you attack in with that black assassin, it becomes a 2/2. It's producing 2/2/2s, killing planeswalkers. I mean, depending on how many planeswalkers there are in the current metagame, it might be played, but it's so dang slow. It is good that it can defend itself with the minus ability, though. I would say it's decent. It's decent, but really not amazing. And that's probably what you expect from an uncommon planeswalker. It's like, meh, it's fine. It's fine, it's decently good. If the black assassin would have been a 1/2, for instance, it would have been much better than a 1/1. A 1/1 dies to everything. So I don't know. About this. Yeah. Leave your your ideas about this card in the comment section. We're gonna go to the next card here. Ajani's Pridemate. Well, we're not gonna spend too much time on this guy. The only notable thing is that they changed the rules wording here. Whenever you gain life, so it's not whenever you gain life, you just put a counter on it. So, no, it's just for arena's sake. Let's go to the next card. Ajani, Great-Hearted. 2 colorless, a green and a white. Creatures you control have vigilance. That's decent, but really not amazing. Then has a plus ability. You gain 3 life. That's actually good. That's actually a good ability. I mean, this comes in with 5 loyalty, can immediately go up to 6 loyalty, which is very hard to deal with. Unless we get a very good tools to deal with this. And you gain 3 life from this. That's solid. That's solid. I mean, have this guy out and just gain 3 life every turn. That's good in by itself. And that has a -2. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And a loyalty counter on each other plane. That is strong. And a loyalty counter on each other planeswalker you control. Wow. So what you could do with this is a couple of planeswalkers which you could almost immediately ultimate. Play out Ajani, just gain the life. Then next turn, play a planeswalker, gain a loyalty on that planeswalker, and then almost ultimate him immediately. For some planeswalkers, you could at least speed them up by 1 turn. Yeah, this guy could be a real combo with some planeswalkers. It's gonna be interesting which planeswalkers. I have to look through the list. There's no planeswalker in particular that I really think about. Dovin needs a lot of counters, so he's not a good candidate for this. What could be a good candidate for this? I think since it's only 1 counter, it's really hard. You need at least 2 counters to get something done with this. So maybe they just thought about this ability and there's no planeswalkers which you can immediately... Because the thing is, if you play this card, what you really want to do is abuse him, I think, and just play a planeswalker, just make him survive 1 turn, and next turn go up loyalty and ultimate that planeswalker. I don't know. It could be decent. I mean, he is decent. He's actually good, I think, for what it's worth. He gives vigilance, gains life, and interacts with planeswalkers in a very, very good way. Yeah, I like this card. I think it's good. I think it's gonna see play. What do you think? Next card. Dreadhorde Invasion. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and amass 1. Amass is put a +1/+1 counter on an army you control. If you don't control one, create a 0/0 black zombie army creature token first. So army just refers to any creature which has army as a type. So you could, if you don't control one, create I'm going to own an army you control. Okay, so if you have something, oh, now I immediately think about, so what it's gonna do, it's like a shittier Bitter Blossom, if you remember. Bitter Blossom created a 1/1 every turn and you lost 1 life. It's a 1/1 flyer it created. But this creates first a 1/1 and next turn it's gonna become a 2/2. Next turn it's gonna be 3/3. It's gonna just grow by 1 every turn. But it's always gonna make sure that you have a creature. When you have no creature, you're gonna get that creature. So it's actually good. I mean, for 2 mana, it's good. First turn, next turn you're gonna get a 1/1 and it's gonna grow. It's a little bit weird though that you don't get more. It would be better to get a lot of 1/1s than to grow one thing. But I definitely see this getting played. Also, losing 1 life is a little bit bad. If you don't control one. So, what you could do with this, of course, is that you could play the enchantment which makes everything into an army, and then you could have something which puts plus counter on anything. But that's not super strong, though. When I think about it, that's not strong at all. I think this will just be played by itself, not combo really in any way. And then the second ability. Whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink at the end of turn. Whenever a zombie token with power 6 or greater. Wait, isn't Chainer's Torment a zombie horror token? It could be a combo with that. Gains lifelink at the end of turn. Just let me check that for a moment. Chainer's Torment. It's a nightmare horror. Okay, so it won't work. Eh? The hell is this? I just have to show you this. What is this? Magic Arena. What the hell is this? This supposed to be like this? Is this a joke? What is this? What the hell is this? Oh, anyways, we're going back. Oh, it's because it's April's Fools. Oh, I get it. I get it. Anywho, we're moving on to the next one. Emergency Zone. Add 1 colorless or 1 colorless and sacrifice Emergency Zone. You may cast spells as though they had flash. This is something for a control list. Definitely what I think. When I think about this card, what you want to give flash is probably not your sorceries, probably your planeswalkers. Play them at the end of your opponent's turn. So if you have something which goes late game, something like Esper Control, really wants to play Teferi at end of your opponent's turn. So it's something like that. But the thing is that Esper Controls probably can't play lands which produce colorless. So it's some kind of different control deck might want to run this. It's definitely a good card in certain decks that don't have that strict mana requirement. And it's probably only gonna be used for planeswalkers. Maybe artifact. No, there's no artifacts. What artifact? Immortal Sun? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I don't think it will be used for creatures. At all. Next one though. Flux Channeler. 2 colorless and 1 blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, proliferate. Choose any number of permanents and or players, then give each another counter of any kind already there. Okay. Okay. Well, here's a very easy way to cheat your planeswalker into an ultimate. Wow. Wow, I already see this. Like, play this with something like Roll Iset, for instance. Just have a couple of non-creature spells that you can, some cantrips, and then just get him to an ultimate immediately. What's it gonna do? Yes, now I see the combo. What you do is you play that land that we saw earlier, the flash land. You flash in raw Izzet during the end of your opponent's turn. Next turn, place Flux Channeler, and just play all those cantrips that you have in your hand, all the opts and everything. And your raw Izzet will go up to enough loyalty. You ultimate him immediately and get the emblem. That's probably gonna be a deck when I see this. Thing, because it's so easy. Seems so easy, at least to me, to get it done. But that's pretty cool. Pretty cool though. Cool idea. You could also do this with Teferi. With the land we saw earlier and Teferi. Any Planeswalker you could probably get to ultimate immediately with enough cantrips in your deck. I mean, we've already seen the Phoenix's return from the grave. It's easy to just have a lot of cantrips in your deck and get something like this off, I think. So yeah, a little bit worrying, but also fun to see something new. I think this card will definitely spawn a new archetype of deck, which just goes immediately to ultimate Planeswalker. Directly for that emblem, that is. Cool. Cool. Next card. Herald of the Dreadhorde. 3 colorless and 1 black. When Herald of the Dreadhorde dies, amass 2. Okay, so put 2 +1 counter on our army. Otherwise, create 1. When it dies... Okay, so it's a 3/2, which creates a 2/2 when it dies. It's not horrible. Just a little bit bad. We'll probably just be playing limited. We have seen these effects. Like, we have a 3 mana dude which creates a 1/1, and that is not played. That is too bad. So a 4 mana 3/2, probably just worse, honestly. So yeah, this would probably not see play. Ignite the Beacon. No, the Beacon. Search your library for up to 2 Planeswalker cards, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. This... Well, it is an instant, but I think it's too expensive to cast. It's easy to just draw the Planeswalkers. There's probably going to be one deck or something which runs this, but... No, I don't. I think this is a Team Trap. That's what I think when I see this. Very good that it's instant. Very, very good. But you're gonna play an instant for 5. I mean, we have Chemistry's Insight though. We do have Chemistry's Insight, so it might be a replacement for Chemistry's Insight maybe. You only want Planeswalkers. If you have a Planeswalker for every scenario, then maybe. Depends. I mean, it could be played... If you could do like a toolbox Planeswalker deck with this, and maybe the thing which you can flash the Planeswalkers in also. Could be a thing. I don't know. Depending on the Planeswalker, this might be played, but it seems a little bit gimmicky to me. Next card, Interplanar Beacon. It's a Beacon again. The Beacon, I know. Whenever you cast a Planeswalker spell, you gain 1 life. It had add 1 colorless, and then you can pay a colorless and add 2 mana of different colors. Oh, that's interesting. It's of different colors. Spend this mana only to cast Planeswalker spells. So it doesn't ramp you. It just produces mana if you are going for Planeswalkers. That is probably very good in a Planeswalker deck. If you're doing something like Super Friends, then this is exactly what you need, I guess. Because you can play all the Planeswalkers. Yeah, this will definitely see play. And it's probably decently good even. I mean, gaining 1 life is strong. We've seen in the Gates deck when you gain 3 life, that card is insanely strong. Here you gain 1 per Planeswalker, but you can have 2 or 3 of these. Like, start gaining a lot whenever you play a Planeswalker. Yeah, probably played, my guess. But we haven't seen all the Planeswalkers, so it's really hard to judge some of these cards, how strong they really are. Because you really need a lot of Planeswalkers to know. Invade the City. 1 colorless, 1 blue, and 1 red. Amass X, where X is the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Put the X+X counters on an army. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Because this could work in the current Phoenix archetype. It's very Izzet to do it based on the instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. There's already a deck which does something like this. The good thing about Invade the City is that if you have an army out, this kind of acts as a haste thing. So you just need to put something out and then invade the city to just buff it, to like a 20/20 and attack it and kill something. So this could definitely work. It's a little bit gimmicky. And the problem is also that that token will be very vulnerable when you play Invade the City. But still it won't. Like even if you put counters on something, everything happens, it seems like, as one effect. So even if you answer by killing the army token, so let's say you have already a 1/1 black zombie army token out, and you play Invade the City, and it's going to create a 20/20. Now if your opponent answers and shocks your token, then you're still gonna get a 20/20, but it's not gonna have it's not gonna have been in play, so it's not gonna be able to attack that turn. So yeah, it's a solid card. Probably that doesn't have evasion, so it can still be blocked by a 1/1 token of any kind. But it does have the haste, does have the ability to come out of nowhere, and that's very good. So hard to see if this was in play. It seems, because it doesn't have evasion, it seems worse than every card that we already have access to in Iset from the Drakes. But maybe that haste is valuable. Maybe. We'll see. Moving on to the next card. Ooh, my favorite card even. Favorite card from this, and it's a good black Planeswalker. What do you know? Mono black, is it back? Yes! Yes, Mono black is back with this card. I'm definitely gonna play it. I'm just so excited. I'm gonna read it. Liliana, Dreadhorde General. 4 colorless, black. It's very expensive at 6 mana, but it's good. Trust me. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. So it's not only non-token as it usually is, it's tokens even. Anything that dies, you draw a card. It's not lose life, draw a card, it's draw a card. That's very good. +1, create a 2/2 black zombie token. It's started at 6 loyalty, by the way, so it's going up to 7 and producing a 2/2. But the strongest part is the next part. That's the insane part about this card. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. That's so good. Like, if you don't play too many creatures, or if you don't care if you sacrifice your creatures, this is like a board wipe. It's like a board wipe, but you get to keep a super good creature. And when you sacrifice your creatures, you get to draw 2 cards. So you play this, you kill your own creatures, you draw 2 cards, you kill 2 things from your opponent's side, and it's like, BAM! Value. Go to Value Town. That's how good this card is. And then -9. Each opponent chooses a permanent in control of each permanent type, then sacrifices the rest. So it's basically win the game. Basically win the game, I would say. Yeah, this is amazing. This is an amazingly strong card. It will definitely see play. I think it will make black great again. That's what I think. Yeah. The strongest part is the -4 by far. It's because, and also because it synergizes so well with the static ability. So you play this, you immediately draw 2 cards, and your opponent sacrifices 2 creatures. It's like a Wrath and draw cards. Okay, yes, I always want this. I always want this. The problem is, sure, I mean, against mono blue, it's gonna be very hard to resolve, surely, at 6 mana. But if you resolve this, it's insane. It's absolutely bonkers. So yeah, what can I say? This will be played. It's a good Planeswalker. The only problem is that it costs 6, but we have a lot of ways to gain mana. We can use treasure maps and stuff. So yeah, this will go into my deck. Next card, No Escape. 2 colorless and 1 blue. Counter target creature or Planeswalker spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Scry 1. Creature or Planeswalker. Exile it. Scry 1. No. Just draw a negate. There's not that many creatures that you want to absorb or negate are just better, in my opinion. I don't really see why. Probably for limited. That's my verdict on this card. Ravening at War. 3 colors and 1 white. Exile all multicolored permanents. Well, we have mono red, mono white, mono blue. A lot of matchups this card will not do anything. This will be the new Mastermind's acquisition target, is what I think this will be. Oh, you play a lot of multicolored Planeswalkers. Well, let me Masterminds. Everyone's new favorite card after the Mythic Invitational, maybe. Mastermind's acquisition. Yeah, this is a Mastermind's target. or a sideboard target, I think. I don't think people main deck this card. Unless you have some way of making your opponent's card multicolored, then it could be pretty sweet. If you can make their lands multicolored and exile them or something. Next card. Oh, we've done them all. Isn't that something? Well, now I want to hear from you. What do you think about these cards? Leave your comments down in the comments section. I don't think there's any other place you could leave them anyways. So leave them there. And see you tomorrow with more arena gameplay. Thank you so much for watching.